Why the most dangerous thing ever invented wasn't a weapon. Think about the most destructive inventions in human history. The sword, gunpowder, the atomic bomb, the weapons that ended empires, flattened cities, erased entire generations from the face of the earth. We remember them because of what they took. Bodies, buildings, nations. History books are full of them. Museums are built around them. But there is something invented in the last 100 years that has caused more damage than all of them combined. And it has never once drawn blood. The most dangerous thing ever invented was not designed to kill you. It was designed to own you. Specifically, the one thing you can never earn back, cannot buy more of, cannot borrow or steal. Your attention. The average human now spends over 7 hours a day staring at a screen. For people under 25, it climbs past 9. That is more than a third of your waking life handed voluntarily to a machine engineered by some of the most expensive talent on earth for one single purpose: to keep you there. This is not an accident. This is a business model. Your attention is not the product you consume. Your attention is the product being sold. Every notification, every autoplay, every infinite scroll was designed in a lab, tested on human psychology, and refined until it was as difficult to escape as a physical addiction. Because that is exactly what it is. The research is not subtle. Attention spans have collapsed across every measurable metric. The ability to sit with a single thought for longer than a few minutes is becoming rare enough to be considered a skill. A skill. Thinking deeply. For people who grew up before the smartphone, that sentence would not make sense. For everyone born after, it already does. Here is what makes this unlike any weapon ever built. A sword kills the body and leaves the mind intact. This does the opposite. The body is fine, still breathing, still fed, still warm, but something behind the eyes has gone quiet. The capacity for boredom, which is actually the capacity for original thought, it is being systematically removed, replaced by stimulation so constant that silence has started to feel like a malfunction. That stillness feels like something is wrong. That being alone with your own mind feels like a place you no longer want to visit. Your ancestors sat in firelight and paid attention to things. They paid attention to the sky and built calendars. They paid attention to animals and learned to hunt, to predict weather, to follow migrations across continents. They paid attention to each other and built language, culture, religion, and meaning out of nothing but time and sustained observation. Every great thing human beings have ever made started with someone paying attention to something long enough to go deep. The cave paintings at Chauvet were not made by distracted people. 30,000 years ago, someone carried fire deep into a cave and spent hours rendering lions on stone walls with perspective, with movement, with beauty. The bone flute found in Germany 40,000 years ago was not carved by someone half present. 5 perfectly spaced finger holes on a vulture bone. Whoever made it understood pitch, understood music, and gave it enough focused time to get it right. Attention was the raw material of human civilization. Every cathedral, every theorem, every piece of music that outlasted the person who wrote it, every philosophy that shaped how billions of people understood the world. All of it began with a human mind that could hold a single thing long enough to see what was hidden inside it. And now that raw material is being harvested, not by force, by design. The psychological vulnerabilities being exploited are not new weaknesses. They are ancient strengths turned against you. Your brain releases dopamine in response to novelty because novelty once meant survival information. A new sound in the forest could be a predator or prey. Paying attention to it kept your ancestors alive. Now that same mechanism fires every time a number changes on a screen. Every like, every new post, every reply. The same ancient circuitry that helped your ancestors survive a wild planet is now the exact machinery being used to sell your attention to the highest bidder. The people who built these systems understand this completely. The engineers who designed the variable reward loops, the autoplay functions, the notification timing algorithms, they know what they built. Some of them have said so publicly after walking away, and a significant number of them do not allow their own children to use the products they created. Read that again. The architects of the attention economy will not let their own children near it. That fact alone should stop you completely still. There is a word the ancient Greeks used, eudaimonia. It did not mean happiness. It meant the full use of what a human being is capable of becoming. They believed almost almost unanimously across centuries that a life of distraction and passive pleasure was not a life at all, that the only road to becoming someone worth being ran directly through difficulty, through depth, through sustained effort. They were describing attention, the deliberate, disciplined direction of human consciousness towards something worth building. They understood that attention was not just a resource, it was the thing that made you human. So here is the question worth sitting with, not who is to blame. The system optimizes itself. There is no single villain, just 1,000 rational decisions each pointing in the same direction. The real question is what you have done with your attention today. Not your money, not your time in the abstract, your actual focused attention, the rarest and most powerful thing you own. Where did it go? A weapon that kills you, leaves a body behind. This one leaves something harder to look at. A person who is alive but absent, breathing but not present, moving through their only life with their most powerful human capacity, quietly sold off in 7-second increments to people who will never know their name. The most dangerous thing ever invented never needed to be a weapon. It just needed to be interesting enough that you never looked up.